Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. So the other day we took a look at forms of government. Okay, that was actually a video that was worked on Tuesday. You had a chart and some note sheet. They were really fill in the blank notes. You had 3 questions on the Edpuzzle assignment as well. So if you have not completed that, you do need to go back and get that taken care of before you move into the systems of government. All right, so now what we're going to be doing is working on, again, it's called systems of government. Okay. So let's try to see if we can't distinguish systems and forms. A lot of people do get these two terms mixed up and they sort of blur things together. So let's take a look. So what is the difference between form of government and system of government? Well, the forms of government explain how a country is set up. In other words, who has the power? So, for example, when we took a look at a republic, we talked about in its definition that the people are the ones with the power. Okay, so who has the power? That's who you're questioning about and asking about. That's the question for forms of government. Now, when it comes to systems of government, systems explain how that government divides the power primarily between the central government and smaller governments, like maybe a state, for example. In other words, where is the power located in this case? So is it located with more of the central government? Is it located more with the state governments? Or is it kind of somewhere in between? Okay, so again, forms, who has the power? All right, so like in a republic, it's the people, for example, right? Um, in autocracies, or you have one person that's at the top of that food chain. And systems of governments are where is the power located. And we're in this case, we're talking about between a central government and something smaller like a state or government, something like that. Okay? So the thing of it is that each form of government that we have learned about also fits into one system of government. Okay? So again, you could have a republic, right, where the people have the power, but all of the power is in the central government. So it's what's called a unitary system. Okay. Or you could have a republic that's a confederal or one that is federal. So again, form systems are different. All right. So one of the ways to help you sort of remember this difference is to think of this each system like an octopus. Okay. The head of the octopus represents the central government. All right. As the head is located in the center of the octopus. Okay. Hence, see, central government. The head of the octopus is, anyways, right? And those arms or tentacles, so they represent the smaller state governments or sometimes even countries, um, as there are many state or country governments, just as there are many arms, quote unquote, on the of the octopus, right? So again, think of it when you're actually going to end up drawing some octopus drawings when this to help you remember the different systems of government. So again, the head of the octopus represents the central government, okay? Because the head is located in the center of the octopus. Those arms, right? We call them arms, okay, represent the smaller state governments or countries, okay? So that's the distinction. We're going to sort of use this pattern as we walk through the 3 systems of government. Okay? And also, at any time, guys, remember if you need to pause the video to get caught up on the notes, please do so. All right, here we go. So, first, we're going to take a look at what's called the unitary system of government. So, in a unitary system of government, all the power is given to a central government. There are no state governments, or they're really weak if they do exist. Okay, so again, all power in a unitary system of government is in the central government. So, what would this octopus look like? Well, that would be a big head because remember, the head represents the central government and little tiny octopus arm thingies. Yay! Okay. So an example of this would be any autocracy would be a unitary system. Okay, autocracies are focused on a strong central government with a central figure, right? So it's not going to make any sense that they would have strong state governments. Even if they do exist, it's like, why have them? Like, this is an autocracy, okay? So again, unitary system, there is basically one government. It's a central government is at the head of this, and it's really, really strong. There are no state governments, or if they do exist, they're extremely weak. All right, let's take a look at the next one. This is what's called confederal government system. Okay, so in a confederal, the smaller state governments have all the power, and the central government is weak. So again, those smaller like state governments, that's where all that power is. Because remember, systems of power is where's the power located. In this case, in a confederal system, it's located with the smaller state governments. And this octopus, of course, will have those small little head and big arms. Okay? Because remember, the head represents a central government, and those arms that we're calling them, just because that sounds better, maybe not. Anyways, all right. So an example of this actually would be the United States under its original form and structure of government known as the Articles of Confederation. Okay. Articles of Confederation, you'll learn more about it later if you haven't had seventh grade U.S. history, which some of you have. But anyways, maybe you forgot. Here's the thing. Under Articles of Confederation, the states had all the power. There wasn't even a president. The Congress that existed under it couldn't do anything, couldn't tax, couldn't raise an army, all kinds of problems. Okay, hence why we no longer have the Articles of Confederation. All right, so that's what's called a confederal system of government. All right, so last but not least, we have the federal system. So in a federal system, the power is shared equally between the national or central government and smaller state governments. So again, this is a powered shared, okay, type of situation. And usually it's in a pretty equal balance. So what would that octopus look like? Well, equal size, head and arms. Yay, look at the happy octopus. Yay! Okay. So again, it's a balance in this case. The national government or central government and the smaller state governments have at least pretty close, equal amount of power in the within the country as a whole. Okay. So an example of this would be the United States today under the U.S. Constitution. Okay. So with the Articles of Confederation, we had a confederal system. See, confederation, confederal, right? Okay. That didn't work. So we moved to the U.S. Constitution, which strikes a balance between the central government and what it can and cannot do and what the states can and cannot do. There is a balance in there. Okay, and there are certain things that only the federal government can do, and there are certain things only state governments can actually do. Again, this is a balanced type of situation. Right? All right. So what you're going to do next is actually go through a little quiz, if you will. All right. And there's actually going to be another video that's going to walk you through the first couple of quiz questions. Okay. And then you'll do the rest on your own, but you'll have the video that you can play to sort of see what it is we're talking about and the reasoning behind it and how we get those questions. Think of this as like an I do and then you do. It's not really an I do, we do, you do, because we're not in person. But anyways, that's what you're going to be doing next. You're going to be doing that quiz next. But again, there is another video. You'll see that link there. It'll be the next option in the Edpuzzle. In the module. It'll be another Edpuzzle. And again, that whole Edpuzzle is really just to walk you through the couple of questions there on your quiz on this. Okay. Now, once you're done with the quiz, you'll notice there you have a chart on your notes. And so what you're going to do with that chart is you're going to go through each of the three systems, okay? And you're going to give an explanation. This is where you put it in your words, right? You're going to write what is a unitary, right? Your words. Don't just simply copy off the notes, okay? Again, your words, not mine, yours. And then I want you to draw the appropriate octopus, right? So if it's a unitary, right, you're going to have that octopus that has the really big head and the small little arms, right? If you're doing confederal, it's going to have little tiny head and big arms. And then, of course, with federal, you're going to have a balance in there, okay? All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, there you go. Those are the three systems of government.